Imagine walking through a city where the only footsteps you hear are your own. Where are all the people? Today we delve into the intriguing world of abandoned cities, places that once buzzed with life but now stand silent and empty. What could possibly drive an entire population away from their homes and livelihoods? Throughout this exploration, we will uncover the mysteries behind 10 such cities, each with its own unique story of desertion. Join us as we unveil the secrets of these ghostly urban landscapes. At number 10, a city built on booming industry now whispers tales of the past. This city, once a bustling hub, thrived on the relentless rhythms of its factories and mills. It was a place where the skyline was perennially etched with smokestacks, and the air vibrated with the hum of productivity. This industrial giant's heartbeat was its steel production, which not only powered the local economy, but also fueled the growth of entire industries across the region. However, the winds of change began to gust. By the late 20th century, global economic shifts and technological advancements rendered the city's primary industry obsolete. Major factories shuttered one by one, leaving behind empty shells and a workforce stranded without livelihoods. The exodus was gradual but devastating. Families who had lived their entire lives in the shadow of the mills packed up in search of new opportunities, leaving behind their homes and memories. Once a hive of activity, now a silent monument to change. Ninth on our list, a city that fell victim to its surroundings. Imagine waking up one day to find your bustling city transformed into a ghost town, all due to the silent encroachment of environmental calamities. This city was once a thriving hub, humming with life and energy, but nature, as it often does, had other plans. The first blow came with the river that swelled beyond its banks, not just once but repeatedly, leaving the streets submerged and homes ruined. Then, the industrial plants that once fueled the city's economy began to leak toxic substances. The air filled with hazardous chemicals, and the water became a poisonous brew unfit for consumption. But perhaps the most heart-wrenching chapter in this city's story was the slow, creeping radiation that seeped into the soil following a nuclear incident nearby. The invisible threat drove the last of the residents away, leaving only empty buildings to whisper of the past. A stark reminder of nature's power over human habitats. At number 8, scars of conflict empty an entire city. In the heart of a region torn by strife, there lies a city that once buzzed with the vibrant day-to-day activities of its residents. Today, it stands eerily silent, a stark testament to the devastating impacts of war and unrest. The conflict, sparked by political disputes and territorial claims, escalated quickly, turning streets once filled with laughter and chatter into zones of silence and fear. As safety became a distant memory, families, young professionals, and the elderly had no choice but to flee their homes, seeking refuge from the constant threat of violence. The rapid departure left behind buildings riddled with the marks of conflict, bullet holes in walls, shattered windows, and abandoned belongings that tell a story of hurried escape. The infrastructure, once the backbone of the city's economy, now crumbles under the weight of neglect. Schools, hospitals, and markets that once served the community are now mere shells, echoing the loss and disruption caused by unending conflict. A city paused in time, waiting for peace. 7th place goes to a city abandoned by the economy itself. Imagine a bustling urban landscape, once thriving with commerce and vibrant life, now reduced to silent streets and shuttered windows. This is not the backdrop of a dystopian novel, but a stark reality for some cities hit hard by economic turmoil. The seeds of such desolation are often sown by severe recessions or catastrophic financial market crashes. Businesses fold, leading industries collapse, and the jobs that once attracted thousands vanish into thin air. As employment evaporates, so does the population, leaving behind empty homes and unused infrastructure. In these ghost towns, every abandoned shop and vacant home tells a story of economic boom turned to bust. The decline can be swift, transforming bustling centers of life into eerie landscapes of economic ruin within just a few years. The remnants of these cities stand as stark warnings of what can happen when economic bubbles burst and fiscal mismanagement reigns supreme, an echo of prosperity now silenced. Number 6 was built for purpose, but not for permanence. Imagine a bustling city erected in the shadow of towering cranes and echoing with the sounds of construction. This was a common scene in cities built solely to support massive infrastructure projects like dams, mines, or industrial plants. Workers flocked here, drawn by the promise of employment, living in hastily constructed houses meant to last only as long as the projects they supported. But what happens when the dust settles and the work is done? These cities, vibrant with life during their peak, often fade as quickly as they rose. The jobs disappear, the workers move on, and the buildings never meant to withstand the test of time begin to crumble. Streets once filled with the laughter of children and the chatter of a busy community now echo with the hollow sound of abandonment. A city with an expiry date now expired. At halfway, a city trapped by its own laws. Imagine a city sprawling and designed for thousands, yet echoing empty. The culprits? Intricate webs of legal disputes and zoning complications. In some cases, these cities are caught in relentless land disputes, where multiple parties claim ownership. The legal battles can drag on for years, even decades, preventing any form of development or resettlement. In other scenarios, it's the zoning laws that play the villain. Initially intended to organize urban spaces and regulate buildings, these laws can sometimes become so restrictive that they stifle any potential for growth or repopulation. For instance, a zone might be designated solely for industrial use, discouraging residential development, or vice versa. As a result, swaths of potential living spaces remain just that, potential, unutilized. The irony? Laws designed to protect and rationalize the use of space end up suffocating the very areas they were meant to nurture. Bound by red tape, its streets lie empty. Fourth place is held by a city dangerous to its own residents. This city, once bustling with activity, now stands eerily silent, a testament to the catastrophic impact of neglecting environmental health. Here, the air and water became laced with toxins, the factories that once fueled the economy leaving a poisonous legacy in their wake. Imagine streets once filled with the laughter of children, now overshadowed by the specter of disease and chemical exposure. Residents faced a harrowing choice: their health or their homes. Many chose the former, leaving behind their belongings, memories, and a city that could no longer promise safety. Over time, the city became a ghost town, not because of economic downturns or conflicts, but because staying meant risking life-threatening illnesses. Efforts to clean up have been proposed, but the scale of contamination presents a formidable challenge, leaving the city in a limbo of abandonment. This is a place where health risks outweigh the benefits of urban life, a stark reminder of the vital importance of environmental stewardship in urban planning. In third place, a city that thrived on a single resource. Imagine a city pulsing with life, its heartbeat synchronized to the rhythm of its booming industry. This was the reality for several urban areas that staked their entire existence on one pivotal resource. Whether it was a town glittering with gold, a community woven around the threads of a single colossal factory, or a tourist hotspot centered on a unique natural wonder, these places shared a common narrative. The allure was magnetic, drawing people from far and wide with promises of prosperity and opportunity. Employment was plentiful, and businesses sprouted up like wildflowers, banking on the sustained flow of this singular resource. But what happens when the gold veins run empty? When factories shut down due to technological advances or economic shifts? Or when once exotic locales become just another spot on the map? The decline is steep and unforgiving. Streets once bustling with life grow eerily silent. Homes and storefronts stand abandoned, a stark testament to dependency gone awry. When the resource ran dry, so did its population. Second to last, a city that promised the future but delivered desolation. Imagine a place envisioned as a beacon of modern living, a meticulously planned city where every street, building, and park was designed to create a harmonious community. Architects and planners poured their hearts into designing futuristic habitats, integrated with the latest technologies and eco-friendly systems. However, what happens when such grand visions don't align with the practical needs or preferences of the people? This city, a bold architectural experiment, was placed in a location that seemed ideal on blueprints, but was far from essential amenities and economic centers. The isolation became its downfall. Without adequate transportation links or job opportunities, the initial excitement quickly fizzled out. Residents began to trickle away, seeking convenience and community elsewhere. The buildings, once symbols of a bright new era, now stand empty, their silent halls echoing with the unrealized dreams of their creators. A vision of the future, now just a relic of the past. At the top of our list, a city shrouded in myths and legends. Nestled amid ancient hills and shadowy woods, this city, long abandoned, whispers tales of curses and hauntings. It's a place where the past seems to cling a little too tightly, making the air thick with stories better suited for a campfire than a history book. Local lore speaks of a series of unexplained misfortunes that struck the city centuries ago. Some say it began when a revered artifact was unjustly taken from its resting place, unleashing a string of calamities. Others believe the city was built on land sacred to forgotten gods, who then cursed the area for its desecration. Over the years, the reputation of being cursed has deterred any attempts at resettlement. Even the bravest souls who ventured into the city speak of eerie silences broken only by the creaking of old, lonely buildings and shadows that seem to move just beyond the corner of your eye. More than empty streets, this city holds stories of the unexplained. Across the globe, cities stand empty for reasons as diverse as they are dramatic. From the haunting silence of industrial relics to the ghostly streets of economic downturns, each scenario reveals its unique cause. Environmental disasters have wiped out entire neighborhoods, while conflicts have left dark shadows over bustling urban life. Health hazards and legal entanglements have turned booming towns into forbidden zones. Reflecting on these, it becomes clear that urban development and human settlement are indeed transient, ever at the mercy of changing tides. Each empty city tells a story of change, challenge, and the unexpected turns of human history.